Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Brevet.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows. From screen to stage. Presidential campaigns. Guinness World Records. Out of this world. Novel's first lines. And not a verb. Player one. X marks the spot where the musical, inspired by this Olivia Newton-John film about a roller disco, rolled onto Broadway. Here's the correct response. Xanadu. Player one. The musical Here's Love was based on this 1947 film in which the real Kris Kringle is hired to work at Macy's. Here's what we were looking for. Miracle on 34th Street. You get a handful of actors play more than 100 roles in the 39 Steps, based on this director's 1935 suspense classic. Here's what we were looking for. Alfred Hitchcock. Player one. A Wonderful Life is a charming musical adaptation of this director's classic film, It's a Wonderful Life. Here's what we wanted. Frank Capra. Player one. In the musical Legally Blonde, blonde ambition takes Elle Woods all the way to this university's law school. Player one.
Yeah!
Good for you. Select again. A campaign slogan in 1964 said, "All the way with these three letters." Okay, player one. Sorry, that's wrong. The correct response is LBJ. You again. I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people, he said in accepting his 1932 nomination. Yes, player one. Yes. You get to pick. The 1976 ticket of Jimmy Carter and this running mate was dubbed Fritz and Grits. Here's the correct response. Walter Mondale. Player one. In 1916, he campaigned under the slogan, "He kept us out of war." It's player one. Correct. We return to you. The Whigs used a log cabin as a symbol in his 1840 campaign. Player one? No. Here's what we were looking for. William Henry Harrison. You get to pick. You're the 4-pound 1-ounce this of my eye. If you're the record this picked by a farmer in 2005. Player one? Sorry, that's wrong. We're talking about the apple. Player one. David Finkel was out of his gourd when he carved a face in one of these in 20.1 seconds. We're talking about a pumpkin. Player one. Guinness has recognized Lucky Diamond Rich as the person with the most these. Even his eyelids are covered. We're talking about tattoos. Select. I'm looking over a 56-leaf this type of plant found in 2009 that I overlooked before. We're talking about clover. Player one.
Yeah!
It's the Daily Double. And you have the lead. How much? The clue. In 57 minutes, 51 seconds, a New York man took the 1,899 steps in the fastest pogo stick jumping up this Toronto landmark? Sorry, that's wrong. The correct response is the CN Tower. We return. The gravitational pull of this object is the main force holding the solar system together. Yes, player one? Correct. You again, player one. Galileo was the first person to see the rings around this planet. Yes, player one? Good. Player one. Not the first, but this second planet is the hottest because its atmosphere causes a severe greenhouse effect. Player one? Right. Player one. The comet named for him was last seen in the skies in 1986 and won't return until 2061. It's player one. Good. You get to pick again. Like Pluto, Haumea and Makemake are designated as this kind of planet. Let's hear it, player one. Right you are. You again, player
Orwell.
one. Mr. Jones of the Manor Farm had locked the hen houses for the night. Player one? No, that's not right. We're talking about Animal Farm. Player one? Fitzgerald. In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice that I've been turning over in my mind. Here's what we were looking for: The Great Gatsby. Player one? Tolstoy. Well, Prince, so Genoa and Lucca are now just family estates of the Bonapartes. Okay, player one?
Yeah.
Good. We return. Golding. The boy with fair hair lowered himself down and began to pick his way toward the lagoon. Here's the response we were looking for: Lord of the Flies. Player one? Charlotte Bronte. There was no possibility of taking a walk that day. Here's the response we were looking for: Jane Eyre. You again. Capable, succeed, accomplish. Okay, player one? No, sorry. We're talking about capable. Player one? Paint, brush, easel. Yes, player one? That's right, way to go. Player one? Wind, wander, wonderful. It's player one. That's right, way to go. You get salt, pepper, sage. Player one? That's right, way to go. And here's the $1,000 clue. Candor, center, canter. It's player one. That is correct. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Categories for the Double Jeopardy round are Beastly Noises, Body Basics, Nigeria, Complete the Opera Title, Movie Folk, and Amelia Earhart. Let's get. After the hungry German shepherd gnawed on the tree, it let out a... Let's hear it, player one. No, sorry. Here's what we wanted. bark. Player 1. If the species were reversed at Thanksgiving, the birds chowing down on us would be doing a lot of... Yes, Player 1? That's correct. You again. I should never have committed a crime on the farm. I knew the pig would... Okay, Player 1? Good. Selecting playing bridge, the donkey led the 4 of clubs, and the elephant decided to... Okay, Player 1? That's it. Player 1. The day Churchill died, it was if the horse kept calling for him with a neigh and a... Yes, Player 1? No. Sorry. Here's what we were looking for. A whinny. We return to... Here's Sarah from our Clue Crew with the clue.
When swallowing, the soft palate is raised to keep food from entering the nasal cavity, and this flap of cartilage moves to prevent food from entering the trachea.
Player 1? No. Here's what we were looking for. Epiglottis. You again. Pink, red, or purplish, a port wine stain is a large one of these, usually on the face or neck. Let's hear it, Player 1. No, sorry. Here's the response we were looking for. A birthmark. You get... Answer. The first of the daily doubles. And you're in the lead now. You need to select your wager. Answer this. Also called leukocytes, these blood cells defend the body against infection. You are correct. Select again. The dura mater is the outermost protective layer that covers the spinal cord and this organ. Yes, Player 1? Right you are. Player 1. Unfortunately, high cholesterol can lead to atherosclerosis, in which these blood vessels become clogged. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's correct. Player 1. As part of its 19th century territorial expansions, this nation colonized the Nigerian port of Lagos in 1861. Here's the correct response. Great Britain. You get to... Known for his satire, Wole Soyinka became the first black African winner of this prize for literature in 1986. It's Player 1. Yeah. You get about a third of Nigeria's states in the heavily Muslim north follow this Islamic law system. Here's what we wanted. Sharia. Following ethnic clashes in 1966, the eastern part of Nigeria declared itself the Republic of this in 1967. Here's the correct response. Biafra. Please. Nigeria's first planned city. It was built in the 1980s and officially dedicated as the nation's new capital in 1991. Here's the response we were looking for. Abuja. Player 1. Wagner. The Flying Blank. Here's the response we were looking for. Dutchman. Selecting Goldmark. The cricket on the blank. Here's what we were looking for. Hearth. Player 1. Menotti. Blank and the Night Visitors. We're talking about Amal. Please. Philip Glass. Blank on the beach. Here's what we wanted. Einstein. You again. Donizetti. Lucia di Blanc. Here's the correct response. Lammermoor. Please pick again. Rejected by USC Film School, this S in DreamWorks SKG now sits on the film school's board of counselors. Here's what we wanted. Steven Spielberg. You again. Jerry Maguire was originally written for Tom, not Cruise, but him. Here's the correct response. Tom Hanks. Player 1. He majored in journalism at Fordham before playing a newspaper reporter in The Pelican Brief. The correct response is Denzel Washington. Player 1. This actor got his name by giving his mom a fetal kick while she viewed a Da Vinci work. The correct response is Leonardo DiCaprio. Please. Answer. The other Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. You need to select your wager. Answer. To get orc war screams for The Lord of the Rings, this director put phonetic yells on a scoreboard for 25,000 cricket fans. Good. We return. Amelia's first plane was bright yellow and named for this songbird. Okay, player 1. Good for you. Please. In June of 1928, Amelia became the first woman to fly across this body of water, though she was only a passenger. Yes, player 1?
Yeah!
You again. In 1935, Amelia flew solo in about 18 hours from Wheeler Field in this state to Oakland, California. Here's what we were looking for. Hawaii. Player 1. On her last flight, Amelia Earhart took off from this large island. The correct response is New Guinea. And now the $2,000 clue. Amelia was promised her independence when she married a member of this prominent publishing family. Here's the response we were looking for. Putnam. Looks like you'll be moving on to Final Jeopardy after this commercial break. So much depends on how you do in the Final Jeopardy category, which today is the 50 states. Please enter your wager. The Final Jeopardy clue is as follows. It was the only state physically and politically formed directly because of the Civil War. Let's see your response. And that correct response will add... This makes you our new champion, player 1, so congratulations. So long.
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows. Literature. NHL, NBA, NFL, or all three. How about them Tigers? The short form. Noms de plume. And Asian history. Player one, you're in command of the board as we continue right now. The ban on this D.H. Lawrence book was lifted in 1959 in the United States. It's player one. Yes. Please pick. Federico Garcia Lorca wrote a famous one of these for the death of a bullfighter. Let's hear it, player one. You get to pick. Whitman's When Lilacs Last in the Dooryard Bloomed was an elegy to him. Okay, player one. Good. Select again. Polonius tells this character, "This above all, to thine own self be true." Player one. Right. Please. This woman was the subject of Petrarch's Canzoniere. Player one.
Yeah.
Good. Player one. Pick again. Highest average salary. Let's hear it, player one. That is correct. Player one, back to you. Uses a center. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Player one has no teams based outside the continental U.S. Let's hear it, player one. Good. Select plays its championship at a theoretically neutral site. Player one. You got it. Player one, back. Canceled regular season games in 2011 due to labor woes. Player one. Here's the correct response. NBA. You again, player one. This tiger is the great spokescat for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Let's hear it, player one. No, sorry. Here's what we wanted. Tony. You again. And I'll hand it off to Jimmy.
The South China tiger has these features spaced farther apart than other species do. On each individual tiger, they're unique. like fingerprints.
Okay, player one. That's it. Player one. Tiger is the second rank in this organization for young boys. Yes, player one. That's right. Way to go. Player one. Tigers are the largest cats, and the tiger named for this Russian region is the largest tiger. Let's hear it, player one. Good for you. Player one. The largest population of wild tigers is found in this Asian country on about 30 wildlife reserves. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. Select again. Frag, meaning to kill a fellow soldier, started as a short form of this term for a type of grenade. Player one. That's not it. Here's the correct response. Fragmentation. Player one, back to you. If your internist gives you a script, it's short for this. It's player one. Right. Please pick again. Buck, as in dollar, is short for this item once used in trade and barter. Player one. Here's what we were looking for. Buckskin. You again. A cab you drink is short for this word. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Player one. A cab you ride in is short for this word. Player one. Yes. Player one, you pick again, please. In French, this graceful swimmer is un cygne. Okay, player one. Good for you. Select. This peaceful bird is une colombe. It's player one. Good. You again. Ask your mother. This silly bird is une oie. It's player one. Yes. You again. This nocturnal bird of prey is un hibou. Yes, player one. Right you are. You again. This small game bird is une caille. Okay, player one. Player one, back to you for our next selection. In the 1920s, the Kemalists opposed the Sultan in this country and eventually prevailed. Let's hear it, player one. That's it. In December of 1946, he attacked the French at Tonkin, beginning a war that ended 8 years later. Let's hear it, player one. Good for you. Player one. Answer. It's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. All right, here's your clue. In 1739, the Peacock throne built for Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan was stolen by these people. Player one. In 1782, when Chao Phraya Chakri became King Rama I, he moved his capital across the river to this city. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. Kelly will present this clue.
These nomadic horsemen, who overran most of Asia in the Middle Ages, lived in portable lattice tents known as yurts.
Let's hear it, player one. Right. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. We start the Double Jeopardy categories with this one. Nasal passages. In the neck. Beekeeping. Medieval Europe. What a TV character. And, oh yes, let's get back in. Truly that nose is the glorious cross he bears, is said of this romantic Rostand hero. It's player one. Good. You again. And there in the wood a piggywig stood, with a ring at the end of his nose, in the poem about this bird and a feline. Player one? Yeah! That's it. Player one. Picking. To see what is in front of one's nose needs a constant struggle, wrote this man in 1946, not in 1984. It's player one. Yeah! Good. We return to you, player one. Lightly was her slender nose tip-tilted like the petal of a flower. This lord wrote in Idylls of the King. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Player one. A Pascal pensée. If the nose of this queen had been shorter, the whole face of the world would have been changed. Yes, player one? Right. You get to pick again, player one. Curly made his woo-woos and nyuk-nyuks in this hollow chamber, also called the voice box. Yes, player one? You got it. Please pick again, player one. In emergencies, this neck operation may be performed with a penknife and the empty shell of a pen. Yes, player one? Right. Yeah! Woo! Player one. These arteries carry blood to the head. A blockage in one may lead to an ischemic stroke. It's player one. Correct. Player one. This gland makes its hormones by combining iodine with the amino acid tyrosine. It's player one. Yeah! Yes. Player one. About 10 inches long, it passes through the neck and goes past the heart, through the diaphragm, and into the stomach. Yes, player one? Yes. You again, player one. This term for a group of bees refers specifically to the group that flies from the hive to form a new colony. Okay, player one. That's correct. Please pick again. Drones don't sting, and queens only sting other queens. So only worry about these bees, 95% of a hive's population. Okay, player one. You got it. We return. Honey is produced by the evaporation of this drink of the gods that bees collect from flowers and then regurgitate. Okay, player one. Hey, you're right. Player one. Glands on a bee's abdomen convert the sugar in honey to this building material. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Select again. A major concern for beekeepers is CCD, this disorder. Let's hear it, player one. That is correct. Player one, pick again. Kelly will present this clue.
Bodiam Castle in Sussex was built during the 100 Years' War to defend England from this foe.
Let's hear it, player one. You are correct. St. Augustine established himself in this city as the first Archbishop of the English Church. Okay, player one. Right. Player one. In the 1177 Peace of Venice, Frederick I, nicknamed this for his red beard, acknowledged Alexander III as Pope. Yes, player one? No. The correct response is Barbarossa. Please, we're in love with the medieval French literary work called This of the Rose. Let's hear it, player one. That's it. You get to... This dynasty of Frankish kings ruled France from 751 to 987. Player one? That's it. Player one, back to you. Well, golly, he left his job and home in Mayberry to join the Marine Corps. It's player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the response we were looking for. Gomer Pyle. Player one, pick again. On the Addams Family, he was married to Morticia. It's player one. Good. You again. Pavel was the first name of this Star Trek character, played by Walter Koenig. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Player one. During a dream sequence, it was revealed that this Richard Dean Anderson character had the first name Angus. Yes, player one? You are correct. Player one? Answer. The first of the daily doubles. And you're in the lead now. Here is your daily double clue. Hardcore fans of Gilligan's Island know that this character's real name is Roy Hinckley. Please pick again, player one. It's the third largest Hawaiian isle. Yes, player one?
Yeah!
Please pick again, player one. Let's go over to Sarah.
2 atoms of this element create a stable bond. When 3 of them bond, they form the unstable ozone molecule.
Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Please pick again, player one. It's the O in an IPO, a corporation's first attempt to sell stock to the public. Let's hear it, player one. Sorry. Here's what we wanted. An offering. Player one. Answer. The other daily double. And you have the lead. The clue. To use the razor named for this 14th century English philosopher means to use economy in explanation. You got it. Here's the $2,000 clue. A total solar eclipse is an example of this, from the Latin for conceal. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Congratulations to you. You'll be continuing on to Final Jeopardy when we come back. Here comes the Final Jeopardy, players. The category is this. U.S. presidents. Please enter your wager. The final Jeopardy clue is as follows. He's the only U.S. president who never lived in the District of Columbia. What did you say? And that correct response will add... This makes you our new champion, Player One, so congratulations. Good game, everyone, and thank you so much for playing.